Right now at 5, the wait is nearly over as the Portland Fire prepare to kick off the season right here at Moda. Plus, Oregon leaders maintaining confidence in local elections despite efforts to restrict mail-in voting.
It's an awful lot better way to go than to have people waiting hours and hours on a work day.
And an Albany mom in immigration custody for months is released just in time for Mother's Day.
It is so antithetical to who we are as a country.
Moda Center is heating up. We're now less than an hour away until tip-off for the Portland Fire's season opener. Thanks so much for joining us here at 5. I'm John Adams. It's a moment fans have been waiting for years, and our sports team is all over it. Orlando Sanchez and Art Edwards joining us live from Moda. Gentlemen, good evening.
It is so good to be back, John. We are back like we never left. The Portland Fire taking the court in a game that counts for the first time in nearly 24 years. Art, can you just set the scene? How big of a deal is tonight's game?
Well, this is just massive, that they're going to have the WNBA back in Portland in the Fire Pit. I love that they call it the Fire Pit. I tell you, the excitement is already starting to build. People are filing in. They're getting ready. A lot of people wearing their red colors already. They're getting themselves fired up and ready for this ball game.
Yeah, this city has been pushing for this moment for so long. A bit of Portland sports history is upon us with the Portland Fire taking the court here in about an hour against the Chicago Sky. We can talk all night long about the significance of this game, having a franchise, having the W back in PDX.
Yes.
And it starts with the head coach in Alex Sarama. You got a chance, Art, to hear from him today.
Yeah, we talked with him a little while ago before the game. He said first thing he did today was get up and take a walk, but he wasn't thinking about basketball on that walk. He sort of uses that as a time to relax a little bit and just calm himself down. He did say, though, he is very excited and he loves the team that he has.
Really happy with the group we have, Bill, and I think a lot's probably being said about the age of the group. I think it's second youngest. Corrected myself after that last press conference. Washington are younger, but I just see so much potential in the group we have, and just really excited to see them grow with us throughout this season and beyond.
General Manager Vanya Chernovitz basically assembling this team in under a month. After a couple of drafts and free agency, they now have a team. They have a 12-player active roster. So going into this game, Art, who's a player that we need to watch?
Yeah, what I really like Sarah Williams. She, third round, not many third-rounders really make WNBA squads. In the past, that's been the case. But I tell you what, she is strong when she's in the paint. She is really tough. And I think she's going to be a player that a lot of people are going to get behind and be excited about.
I like that pick. It takes a lot to make a pro team, especially in the WNBA. Going from a third-round pick, rarely does that ever happen.
That's right.
We've had a couple this year, Sarah Williams being one for the Portland Fire. I'll give you Bridget Carlton. That's the money player. She is your star player. She's got to deliver. Carla Late, their starting point guard, also needs to have a big game tonight. But Art, just describe the vibe tonight as we've come in. There's actually T-shirts here. Let me grab one, man.
This is amazing. I love the fact that they have the T-shirts, these great T-shirts that talk about the home opener for the Fire. You know what? People have been waiting for this, it's been more than 20 years, so they have really been waiting for this to come back to Portland, to have the WNBA here. This city is ready for it. This team, they were excited in the preseason game with the way the crowd reacted and how loud they were. That was nothing compared to what it's going to be like tonight.
Oh, absolutely. This place will be rocking. Art, quickly here, we'll button this up with just expectations for the season. What do you expect from the Portland Fire?
Yeah, you know what? I think it's going to be a team that will play incredibly hard all the time. I think they're going to be in a lot of games, even against good teams, but wins are going to be tough to come by.
Yeah, Alex Sarama saying his defense, he wants to bring maximum disruption. So I think they're going to play hard, like you mentioned, and create some chaos and muddy up the games, and maybe they'll be in a few here. Vegas has the over-under at 9.5. 10 was the worst record last season. So they've got some work to do, but this is a big picture operation 2 to 3 years from now. But bottom line, we have basketball. We have the WNBA back in the Rose City. History on the line here tonight as the Portland Fire take the court for the first time to open the 30th WNBA season. For now, John, we'll send it back to you.
Thank you, gentlemen. We cannot wait to see people starting to filter in behind you. Game time coming up soon. Thanks so much. We'll see you later at 11. All right, and let's take another live look outside right now where it's a beautiful evening to head out to the Moda Center or dinner or anything else around the area. Meteorologist Joe Ranieri joining us tonight. Joe, how are things looking for the rest of the weekend?
The rest of the weekend, we will be ushering in some changes, but nothing really major. When I say ushering in some changes, I mean cool and cloudy to start things off tomorrow, but still temperatures will be about 10 degrees cooler heading into your Mother's Day, but we still have this ridge of high pressure in place, so we will be seeing another round of sunny skies by tomorrow afternoon. Looking at a live look now from our Pioneer Park building camera. Temperatures in the upper 70s. We do have some high clouds out there. You take away the high clouds, yeah, we'd be easily seeing temperatures spilling into the low 80s. But tomorrow morning, we'll wake up to overcast skies. Temperatures will be in the upper 50s already by 9 o'clock, heading into the early part of the afternoon in the low 60s. I have a high tomorrow closer to 70 degrees. I think some of those clouds will kind of melt away a little bit sooner than later. So because of that, we will be looking at a very nice Mother's Day forecast. Cooler and cloudy though, but again, you're gonna have blue skies by the second part of the day. Looking into next week, John, we warm back up. Highs reach 80 degrees by Tuesday. And there's a chance we'd be seeing temperatures closer to the mid 80s in a few locations. And we'll be seeing a return of some cool and wet conditions, something we really need because we haven't seen a drop of rain so far this month. And looking at some of the long range models, that could be the case heading into at least the middle part of next week. I'll talk more about your detailed forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Joe, thanks so much. Well, the primary election is 10 days away, and Oregon officials are encouraging people to get out there and vote. Senator Ron Wyden and Secretary of State Tobias Reed critical of President Trump's executive order on voting and are reassuring people they can still vote by mail. Our Jake Holter is joining us live from the newsroom with that story. Jake.
Yeah, John, we stopped by the Selwood Moreland Library today where Senator Wyden was dropping off his ballot and spoke to us about election integrity.
This is what democracy is all about.
Another vote cast ahead of Oregon primary election day, this time Senator Ron Wyden's.
This is safe. We have a backup in terms of the signatures, and people find it convenient. It's an awful lot better way to go than to have people waiting hours and hours on a work day just to be part of democracy.
Wyden praising mail-in voting and early voting after President Trump signed an executive order restricting vote-by-mail elections.
It's about voter integrity. We want to have honest voting in our country because if you don't have honest voting, you can't have really a nation.
The order calls for Homeland Security to create a list of U.S. citizens in each state who are eligible to vote. It also aims to ban the U.S. Postal Service from sending ballots to people that don't fall on each state's approved list.
What is Donald Trump so frightened about when we vote by mail? After all, he does it when it's convenient for him.
Trump recently voted by mail in the Florida special election in March.
This is just about politics. It's not about election security. It's not about anything but a president who knows that he is unpopular and is looking for every way possible to avoid that accountability that is represented by election.
Oregon Secretary of State Tobias Reed on Straight Talk this week talking about vote by mail.
Fundamentally, my responsibility is to make sure that Oregonians who are eligible get to cast their vote and be confident that it is counted accurately.
And as a reminder, the primary election is May 19th. John?
Yeah, Jay, coming up right around the corner. Thanks so much for that report. An update today on a homicide investigation from last fall. A man who was booked on an April robbery has been indicted by a grand jury for first-degree murder. Detectives have identified the suspect who killed Shiloh Thanos Young as 20-year-old Damari Baxter. They believe Baxter shot Thanos Young last September in Northwest Portland, but police up to this point have not released any details about what led up to it. The case is still under investigation. Multiple first responders were called early this morning after a crash pinned both drivers in their cars. This was in the area of Northwest Park in West Burnside just after 1 this morning. A total of 3 people were removed and taken to the hospital. At this point, everyone is expected to survive. Portland police expect one of the drivers to be charged with DUII and more once out of the hospital. A Portland driver who collided with a fleeing suspect is now suing the city, claiming the police who were chasing that suspect caused the crash. This is security video showing the crash on 82nd back in May of 2024. The plaintiff calling the incident life-changing. Alma McCarty has the details of the lawsuit.
Truly went from just driving down the street to an explosion.
Selena Pinnell remembers all the airbags deploying and the feeling of everything going dark.
I remember being very disoriented and thinking in my mind, you just died. Like I had that thought and I couldn't believe it.
The crash at the intersection of Southeast 82nd and Taylor Court, a shock to her system. She's in the dark Subaru that hits a red car darting out from the side street.
Somehow found my seatbelt, kicked open the car door, and upon exiting my car, I looked over my left shoulder, and that was when I saw the police and the guns pointed right at me.
Portland police had been going after a suspect in a stolen vehicle, and Pinnell was caught in the middle, left with a totaled car and injuries to her leg, chest, and head. She expected officers to come to the hospital, but she says they never showed.
I felt like collateral damage. I felt sort of disposable. It just felt like I didn't matter at all.
2 years later, she's suing the city.
I think it was early on that I realized that internally I felt like that what had happened wasn't right.
In the lawsuit, she alleges that PPB officers were negligent by engaging in a pursuit when the benefits to the public did not clearly outweigh the inherent safety risks. Ultimately, Pinnell says she wants accountability.
These are family-packed neighborhoods with tons of children running around all the time. And the idea to think that if I hadn't, been in that accident that day, that it could have gone into those neighborhoods and could have put other people at risk really hurts me. And so my son sometimes says I'm a hero because he says, Mom, you stopped something worse from happening.
Alma McCarty, KGW News.
Every single day of her detention was in violation of the Constitution.
Advocates are celebrating the release of an Albany mother after she spent nearly 4 months in ICE custody. She was detained back in January while buying socks. The Innovation Law Lab said they sought due process for Maria Loya Medina, but only got hearings before immigration judges, not through the court system. One judge claimed Maria resisted arrest. Another called her a flight risk and kept her locked up. The Innovation Law Lab filed a petition to get the case before a federal judge in Washington who criticized the previous hearings.
The judge in the decision yesterday said that hearing was unconstitutional. It did not comply with the minimal standards of due process of the Fifth Amendment, and he ordered her immediate release.
In a statement, DHS told KGW that Medina, a citizen of Mexico, was, quote, previously removed from the U.S. She chose to commit a felony and illegally re-enter the country at an unknown location and date. She has received full due process. Well, in other news, a big showing for the 17th annual St. John's Bazaar. This event is a huge draw every year right in the heart of the historic business district. Organizers say the family-friendly celebration helps kick off the summer street fair season in Portland with its arts, crafts, jewelry, and tasty treats lasting until 8 p.m. tonight. A lot of people showed up early this morning to get in on some shopping before the parade.
Each time it just gets bigger and better, and the community here just always shows up every year, so it just always feels good. Every time we see someone walking by our booth, even wearing our stuff from years prior, it's just, this community shows up big time.
There's a lot of nice stores that you can find stuff that you normally can't find elsewhere, like Howden Horn right here.
Organizers say thousands of people filled the streets to check out the hundreds of vendors. Plus, the entertainment and activities are free.